for you. I want to ask you a really important question. Have you ever wondered why some experts are getting so many podcast interviews? Why they're getting invited to the podcast? Why you see them partnering up with people over and over and over again? You're like, I want to get invited to that. And maybe if you are getting those invitations, you are getting on those platforms, you are getting those podcast interviews, you're not getting the clients and the results that you hear everyone else talking about. Why is that? Well, I'm Melanie Benson, and I'm hosting an event next week called Visibility Velocity. And it is a 3-day virtual transformation experience for people who know they need to be seen, but their visibility isn't translating to results. And to help kick things off, we're having a little pre-party here today. I've invited some of my friends who are speaking and show hosts at the event to talk about what really is going on. Why does visibility not work for some and it does work for others? What's missing and what are they bringing to Visibility Velocity? And yep, we are hoping to inspire and entice you to join us because let me tell you, when you really dial in intentional strategic visibility and you stop spraying and praying and you really lean into what your visibility strategy could be, that's when the magic happens. So let's get into it. Now, I am very excited about this event. This is the second year we've been hosting it. Last year we did it summit style. This year we are doing a deep dive transformative event over 3 days. And the big thing that I'm doing is weaving together clarity and absolute awareness of where you have visibility and authority gaps. And what you will get when you leave the 3 days together is are going to have what I call the visibility to profits roadmap. And this is where instead of guessing and kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and just seeing what will stick, you've got a strategic plan, you've got intentionality, and you know where to focus to move the needle. But I am such a huge collaborator. I know that what I'm going to bring to you can only be amplified 100 times better by helping you learn from other extraordinary experts. So I have invited 8 speakers to join me on the main stage in the first 2 days to kind of fill in some of the gaps around visibility to show what's working for them. And our first speaker up I want to invite is Tish Times. Now, Tish is longtime friend of mine. She is somebody who we collaborate all the time. And I really believe that Tish has part of the missing link that we're going to go into. So, Tish, would you introduce yourself and tell everybody why they should be at Visibility Velocity with us?
Absolutely. My name is Tish Times. I own Tish Times Sales Agency and I host the Sold Out Sales podcast. I am so excited for this event. I had the privilege of being with Melanie last year as well. And I will tell you, the one thing that I know for certain that people tend to get wrong around visibility, their efforts, is that they show up, but there's no system behind it. And often they're the only ones doing all of the work. So they're trying to show up and then do all the things and then come back. And because they're trying to do it all and they don't have a system or a process in place, they fail miserably and they get frustrated and they wonder why things aren't working. So I know when I talk to you all, I'm going to be talking specifically about founder-led sales and how that can burn you out and how to create systems so that you can both show up, convert, and really have tremendous success in your business. So thanks for having me, Melanie.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so I guess one of the things I want to dial in with you before I let you go is you and I talk a lot about this. We've been friends for a long time. We've done a lot of collaborations together. We talk about what's working, what's not working. What do you see as the biggest challenge right now for people who know maybe they need to be more visible, but either they aren't or it's not converting?
Well, I definitely know that, like you said it already, that if they don't have the structure in place and they don't understand, they don't have a plan, it's like all roads need to lead to somewhere. And so if they're very inconsistent, they're very sporadic, there's not a true like roadmap to where they're actually going, it's going to feel that way and disjointed to the people that are listening to them, that are seeing them. And the likelihood is that they're going to wonder why people are not showing up for them, or if they're showing up, they're starting and then stopping. They're not listening to the full message, or they're not, looking for you every day, every week, every month, because there's no like synchronicity. There's no plan that's really showing up in the way that you are communicating your message. And if you are confused, I bet you your audience is confused also.
Mic drop, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to be playing a little bit with our video settings here after we do Tish, so we can both be on stage at the same time. But Tish, before we wrap you up, you were at Visibility Velocity last year, and you've been in several events with me. What's the number one reason why somebody might want to clear their schedule, part the wave of resistance, or maybe a little bit like, should I really go? Why should they be in the room with us?
Well, number one, I'll just tell you what I've had clients who came last year and are coming back this year because they got such clarity on what it really means to have visibility that works. They got such clarity on how to not only get on more podcasts, because that's not always the issue, but get on the right podcast that have the right audience, making sure that they're in the right room, saying the right things, attracting the right people, and they're coming back for part 2 because it was so good last year.
Woo, thank you, Tish. I'm so glad you're coming back. And you are going to be on the main stage with your session around how to create sales systems instead of being the bottleneck. But secondly, you will be one of our show hosts on the VIP day. So glad you're coming back.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Let's bring Kayla G up. Another really amazing collaboration partners. We do a lot of fun stuff together. And if you are joining us in the speaker room, maybe put yourselves on mute till you come up, just so we can kind of keep that background noise down. All right. So Kayla, I'm going to change up the view a little bit here. Kayla, introduce yourself, your work, and your session, and let's make some magic happen.
Yes, I'm so excited. My face hurts from smiling because I always just have so much fun, Melody, when you invite me onto these events. So I just wanted to say thank you. So I'm a business architect, strategist. I leverage systems like human design, Gene Keys, and AI. And I specifically work with entrepreneurs. And Tish, you were like speaking my language. I love to look at where entrepreneurs have a lack of coherency in their business, looking at their ecosystem and being like, look at all these threads. No wonder you're so tired, because you can't hold it all. Let's build something that actually holds you. So that's really the articulation of my work. I'm the host of the Top 2% podcast channel, Built for the Edge. I've been podcasting for over 7 years now. I've interviewed over 160 people. Love podcasting, love the conversation about visibility. So that's a little bit about me and the work that I do.
Awesome. So your session at Visibility Velocity. I'm excited about everything we're doing. Let me just say that. But there is something really, really powerful about what you're sharing. I don't want you to give a bunch away, but just give everybody a little tiny taste of what they're going to discover in your session.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to try not to get too excited, because I love geeking out with AI. One of the biggest things that I see online, and this is what we do, is, as entrepreneurs, we learn tips and tricks and things about social media, what works, what doesn't work, the whole Reels thing, and then it's TikTok and it's this, that, and the other. And we go and we try on what everyone else is doing. Like, oh, it worked for them, it should work for me. They have 1 million followers, whatever it is. And what I started doing is I started looking at my own data. I used AI to look at my own Instagram data, look at what performs, why it performs, and then I started doing more of that. And for me, that feels, and it is, authentic and sustainable. And this is what I want to talk about, because it's basically like an anti-trend conversation that we're having. I'm not going to tell you what worked for me. The thing that worked for me was using AI to look at my own data, but you're not going to do what I did. You're going to look in the mirror for yourself. And that's something that I'm like unbelievably excited about, because I've shown some people this and their minds are blown, and it's really awesome.
I'm so excited. And we've done several collaborations. You're getting some some speakers going, what? I know, right? Like, I'm so excited about your guys' sessions. You guys are bringing the most epic content, the most epic cutting edge, like what's really working for people right now that are making visibility work. Because let's face it, we know a lot of people are kind of stuck. Things that used to work aren't. We're having to radically rethink how we show up, bring our superpowers, keep solving people's problems, but also we're not going to be doing it the same way anymore. And I love these new approaches. And Kayla, I don't even know what you're going to teach yet. You've just been telling me about it. And I'm like, girl, you got to bring it to visibility velocity. So I'm excited about that. Now, I started to say, you've been with me in a couple collaborations now. Were you at Visibility Velocity last year?
I don't think I was.
Oh, yeah, you were traveling.
Yes.
Yeah. So what, in your experience of showing up for events like this with me, what's one thing somebody could count on that might make it worth their while to get in the room with us?
Yeah, I think a couple things. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I'm really not trying to pump your tires, but I'm just going to say it. I think Melanie is one of the best people when it comes to hosting events. Audience, you see what you see on the screen right now, but the connections and the relationships built behind the scenes in terms of how we connect with one another that you don't even see, that happens behind the scenes. But the thing is that she brings that forward inside of the events. Like, we really are talking about the little nitty gritty things that you don't see when you watch people podcast, when you watch them post on social media. Like, we're really giving the behind the scenes of what works, what doesn't work. And you really get to cherry pick the golden nuggets from each one of us living very different experiences for what works for you. And so I just think it's very honest conversations that we're having. And and the thing is, it's going to save you so much time. Like, I think a lot of us, and like, pardon my French, we fuck around and find out a little too much. And this is just going to get to the point. So it's going to save you time, a mental, emotional labor, so that you can be more efficient.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for being here and bringing your awesome, epic clarity to Visibility Velocity. I'm just going to pop if you are listening in and you're like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be there. You can see there's a little QR code right here. But if you're not QR code savvy, let me just drop something for you for a couple minutes. You can head to visibilityvelocity.com. Look, I made registration free. I thought about charging for this event because people leave with so much clarity there. It's literally like a mini course that people, might pay a few $100s to be at, but I wanted to make it something that everybody can win, everybody can access. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the VIP room in a minute, but let's bring up our next speaker, Tanya Smith, the epic live stream queen. Thank you so much for being here. You're on the main stage with me this year. I'm so excited that you're joining us. Give us the 411 on you and what people can anticipate from your session.
First of all, I want to say thank you, because I'm just sitting here like fangirling off of everyone that's on the stage. So everybody who's here. I'm Tanya Smith, and I am the live stream strategist. I am the founder of Stream Like a Boss TV. That's also the namesake of my show, my podcast, which is a video podcast on YouTube, Amazon, all the places, right? I work with established coaches and consultants, moving them from crickets to cash. Melanie, you know what that is. She helped me to actually formulate that, right? But moving them from crickets to cash by teaching them how to use a single live stream every week to build real authority and create more client conversations. So I am super excited about doing this, because it's not about you becoming a full-time content creator, because I'm not signing up for that. What I am signing up for, however, is to empower, especially women over 50. That tends to be my primary niche, but to empower them to use their voices with video. And people kind of get a little tongue-tied and they don't necessarily know how to use video to actually build authority. So really excited about talking about my topic, which will be your first 5 episodes.
And really, like, having a live stream is probably the easiest way to build authority. You don't have to figure out how to stream it on all the different platforms. It's really there's a low barrier to entry. And I'm very excited that you're going to teach us how to really up our game in the live stream in a way that's not just like sharing information, but building authority.
Yes.
So very exciting. And you're also one of our show hosts. So this is really a really rare but powerful opportunity for those people that are coming into the VIP Visibility Activation Lab. Because, hey, fun fact, or maybe it's a secret, I don't know what, but a lot of these friends of mine, they do not take pitches. So you want to get on their show, you need to know them, you need to be in their program, you need to be in community, or you need to take advantage of opportunities like this. And if you could just see what's happening in the private chat here, and this is what happens when you're in the right rooms. There's a whole bunch of people booking podcast interviews with each other in the chat right now. So this is a big part of what happens in the main room. So I love it. Thank you, Tanya. Now, if you could just leave everybody with one quick, you've been in lots of programs, lots of rooms with me. What's one thing that people can count on if they were to clear their schedule and jump in and join us?
Well, one of the things that I think I found to be really helpful with the last one is just the idea that we're all going to be talking from different perspectives. And even if there might be a little bit of crossover with some of the conversations, the most important thing is that you get not only the soft skills, but you're also going to get a little bit of the techie things. Like I'm bringing a micro app that you can use after I teach you how to create your first 5 episodes. I'll be bringing a micro app that will help you to do it easily. Kayla's going to be talking about what she shared with AI. Everybody's going to bring something with a different perspective. And so it is just chock full of wisdom and knowledge from all the angles. And also it's going to be fun because we're all fun people, I think.
Yeah, well, there's definitely no shortage of fun in the room, that's for sure. Tanya, thank you. Thanks for coming back again and for always showing up and bringing such amazing value.
Thank you.
So let's go to our next speaker who's joining us. And I got a fun fact around this lady. Meiko Sakai and I have known each other for many years. I dare say close to a decade. And let me blow your mind for a second. We met on Twitter. Yes, that platform that really doesn't exist anymore, that used to be such a huge platform. We were in a community there for many years and just had so much collaboration, so much support. And I was so excited to invite her and have her join us here at Visibility Velocity. Meiko, welcome. Just give everybody the quick 411 on you and what you're going to be teaching at Visibility Velocity.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for this opportunity. I know we've known each other for ages, I guess, eons, you might want to say. And we met over Twitter out of all places. And finally, we're doing something together. So I am super excited about this. What I do is I design diagnostic style quizzes, also, quiz funnels for coaches, consultants, and service providers who sell intangibles. And I would love all of those coaches and consultants to consider that to be not just a lead magnet, but as an asset, as an entry point to your world, so that everybody would learn what your expertise is all about without you showing up. So I'm actually ready to kind of disrupt this whole know, like, and trust kind of marketing philosophy, which is not wrong, by the way. We need that, but I wanted to introduce something new to it. So without giving away too much,
way to tease the session, Meiko.
No, definitely. It can be done a little bit differently. So I am really over the moon about this. So it's called Visibility Authority Gap. And I am going to focus on that gap where you can build a little bridge over it.
Love it. So one of the things I'm really excited about with some of these speaker sessions, these amazing people I've invited to share their knowledge, their wisdom, is that visibility alone can just be noise. Visibility, when it's intentional and strategic, and there is a profit path, a way to move somebody from, hey, that was a nice conversation, to, oh man, I need to work with this person. You have to have ways to, we'll just say convert interest into investment. And that's one of the things I'm going to be teaching you about at the Visibility Velocity event. I'm going to teach you the golden thread. And Mako, and many of the people who are speaking, but Mako in particular, is going to teach you something that I think is one of the best lead magnets that actually has a multiple compounding ROI. So Mako, I'm so excited to have you join us. Now, real quick, before I let you go out of the hot seat here, what's one reason people should clear the decks and commit to being with us next week?
So that was the question for me. Is that right?
Yeah, that was for you, Mako. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Yeah. Well, definitely, I am going to be ready to become a student for this event, and I think everybody should be, and not to miss any of these topics, because once these are all combined, you will be unstoppable. One of my clients told me that she is going to be there, and she was super excited about it. And well, this is the reason why that we get along really well. But I think this is the highly curated event of the year, and you must be coming if you wanted to grow your business.
Ooh, love that. And you might be my best salesperson yet. Like, thank you, Mako. I hopefully you are seeing what is going to be the amazing outcomes for you in terms of clarity, but really tools that are working right now. I'd love for you to join us at visibilityvelocity.com. As I mentioned before, it's free to join the main room. I'll tell you a little bit about the VIP room in a minute as we start to introduce the extraordinary show hosts that are joining me in that space. Now, before we get our show hosts up here, let me just mention a couple of the other speakers that couldn't be here today. We have Amy Yamada. And if you don't know Amy, Amy is extraordinary. She's also doing some pretty cutting edge stuff with AI. But I asked her to come, and let me tell you, it was a real coup to get her. She was not sure she was going to be able to make it, and she was like, "Okay, I got to be there. I know this is exactly what needs to be shared with more people, and that is how to become the expert that AI recommends." Now, I stumbled into this last year where I realized ChatGPT was literally referring me to people who were searching for what I do. And then I found out that my friend Amy was actually teaching people how to make sure you are the one that's coming up in these organic searches in ChatGPT and the new Google search AI searches and Claude. I was blown away. And it's not that hard, but you do have to do some specific things. So Amy's going to unpack that for us. We're also going to be joined by Marta Spurk. I wanted somebody who was masterful at storytelling, because you know what happens when you know how to tell good stories, and some of you are already really, really good at this. It's what people remember. It's what cuts through the noise with everybody that sounds the same. Oh my gosh, their title, their topic, I've heard that before, but they've never heard the story. And we're not talking about fire hosing people with your life story. We're talking about strategic, curated stories that are authentic but powerful and make people not just remember you, but want to connect with you, choose you, and hire you. So I've got Marta Spurt coming to talk to us about that. And then we have Darla Ledoux, another good friend of mine. And she is going to teach us how to unlock transformation at its most epic proportion in in-person retreats. So she is masterful at filling and hosting in-person retreats. And I've got one more speaker that's going to join us. And sadly, she couldn't be here with me because she is in Australia. But I am going to see if I can work my magic here and bring her up. Please meet my dear friend and podcast.
Hey, I'm Samantha Riley, and I help experts and founders. Hey, I'm Samantha Riley, and I help experts and founders grow businesses that are more profitable, less chaotic, and don't rely on them for every single thing. And a big part of that is helping people get clear on what actually creates momentum in their business, because I see so many smart people working really hard on visibility, but they're not seeing the results that they should be seeing. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see is that people say they want more visibility, but what they're doing is trying to create it inside the same audience over and over and over again. They're posting to the same followers on the same social media platforms. They're emailing the same list, even if it's consistent, and then they're wondering why growth feels slow. When they keep circling the same pond, their growth happens at turtle pace and lead flow feels inconsistent. So in my session, I'm going to be talking about how you can get the best content or your best content in front of new, right fit people consistently for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day, so that your visibility compounds day on day on day. Now, if you're a real expert and you want to be known for the depth of what you do, not for being the loudest person in the room, then I know that Visibility Velocity is absolutely worth the investment of your time. This event is for people who want to build genuine authority, the kind that creates trust, that opens doors, brings better opportunities, and attracts higher quality clients. And not through noise or slick bro gimmicks, because we're so sick of that. Though, those days are over. This is through visibility that actually elevates your reputation and positions you as the go-to authority in your space. Now, I've been involved in many events with Melanie over the years, and I can say with complete confidence that if visibility is a priority for you this year, you need to join us at Visibility Velocity. Melanie is a really awesome way of bringing together substance, strategy, and tons of value every single time. Plus, she always gets the best speakers. So I really look forward to seeing you at Visibility Velocity.
All right. Thanks, Sam. I'm glad that she could drop in with us. She wanted to be here, but it's very early in Australia. So I'm very excited about all of our speaker sessions. I'm very excited about what's going to happen for you at the event. But I got to tell you, there is something really extraordinary that happens at Visibility Velocity. I test drove this last year and people were blown away. And actually, many of the people that joined our VIP last year are coming back again this year. And here's why. Because I have organized a very powerful deep dive day for people who they don't want just information. Information's good. It's helpful. They don't want just to be, okay, I know what to do and have clarity. That's great. No, they want to leave with actual results already in hand. And that's what happens in the Visibility Velocity VIP lab, because we've got some private sessions with me in our VIP small group. We do limit the number of people that come in. I also will be facilitating 3 really, really powerful sessions. One, how to make sure you've got a topic that hooks the host and gets you listened to. Look, there are a lot of people that are still kind of caught up in a generic topic. And as much as you love what you do, your job is to get a host to go, oh yeah, I need that. And secondly, we're going to talk about how to actually pitch a podcast host to get them to listen and choose you. Because guess what? You get to pitch 21 podcast hosts live in the room. So I'm going to introduce you to a few of the show hosts that are joining me. I get so excited about this because there is nothing more powerful than going, oh man, my podcast or my topic got picked up right there in the room. I invested a little bit of money. It's $111 if you upgrade right from the get-go when you register. And these amazing show hosts who literally just don't like getting pitched ever. They don't like to get pitched. They don't respond to pitches. They don't let you slide in their DMs and go, hey, should I be on your show? No, it's relationship. And they're letting my relationship with them be the bridge to you getting booked on their shows. So let me introduce you to some amazing show hosts that are exclusively in the VIP lab with us. Robert McPhee, can I bring you up first, my friend? So fun fact, Robert and I have known each other for many, many, many years. We originally met at a time when I was speaking at an event he was at. We reconnected at a live version of what we're doing on that Sunday. And we have a lot of lives where we cross over. But Robert has such a cool podcast. Robert, tell us a little bit about what your podcast is and why you're taking pitches at Visibility Velocity. Oh, you're muted, my friend. Oh, you're still muted. How do we unmute? Can you guys hear Robert? No. Okay. Robert, I'm going to come back to you in a second. Let's see if we can get you unmuted. Let's pop over to one of my new friends, Chanel Evans. So I'm pretty thrilled to have Chanel here. Chanel and I have been connecting on my other new favorite platform, Threads. So let me just tell you, if you've been like, should I bother? Is there anybody there? Are the conversations worth having? Absolutely. So Chanel and I connected over on Threads, and now we are here. So Chanel, thank you for joining us. Tell us just quickly what about Visibility Velocity has pulled you in? What's your show about? And why are you taking pitches from the room at Visibility Velocity?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to be here. It's a powerhouse lineup, not only from the speakers, but for the podcasters as well. I'm Chanel Evans, host of the Structure and Soul podcast. And we tell stories. We tell the stories and the behind the scenes gritty stories. A lot of times we only hear the prettied up fancy versions, but we tell the raw behind the scenes stories of entrepreneurship. And we talk about the structure of it, but then we talk about your soul. Why are you doing what you do? Why is it so powerful? What makes me a really cool host is I'm in the visibility world. I am a strategic visibility strategist. So I know how to ask questions of my service-based providers, my consultants who come on the show to shine them in the best light. But I think most of us have touched on it in some way. Your visibility needs to take you somewhere. So before we even hit record, I ask my guests, okay, what do you want this episode to do for you? Because just the visibility of it is awesome. But if it doesn't lead to a lead magnet, or it doesn't lead to someone that gets curious and wants to work with you, then I'll have a conversation with you. Cool. But let's at least make it worth your while. So that's why I'm excited to be here, is to continue to share those behind the scenes stories of our entrepreneurs.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Chanel, I am so excited. And by the way, being on one podcast, just one podcast, can open a massive amount of new opportunities for you if you know what to do in the third session I'm hosting on the VIP day, because I'm going to share you my little secret formula to turn one guest appearance into multiple invitations and client leads. Because what happens for so many people is they leave that exposure dormant. So you're not just getting the podcast opportunity to pitch these podcast hosts. I know many of them are going to pick you guys up, because I know who's in the VIP room, and you guys are fire. But you got to know what to do with it when it airs, because you're leaving so much opportunity dormant. Chanel, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share before we move on to our next host?
No, looking forward to it. There's some gems that are going to be dropped, and I'm excited to be in the room as well.
Yeah, and Kate, congrats on your recent TEDx talk. Big balloons, and woohoo! Well done. I know you're still recovering from that, so we're grateful that you're saying yes to being with us. So great.
Absolutely, thanks.
Okay, let's see. Robert, is the microphone behaving now?
You tell me. Is it
there
behaving?
You go. Here you are. Okay.
I don't know.
Tell us a little bit about why you're coming back to Visibility Velocity.
Well, the reason I'm coming back is super easy. It's because you asked me. Like, you're my podcast go-to expert in all domains. I mean, seriously, you have been so helpful to me in getting myself out there as a podcast guest, and also in setting up my own. I'm on my third podcast now, the Values-Based Life podcast, where we talk to people about discovering and living life in alignment with their highest values. It's all, with your help, shifted into more of an organizational point of view, talking to leaders who run their organizations based on their values. And when you ask me to do something, I'm all in.
Thank you. And you were with us last year. Is there a quick pointer or tip you would give a potential VIP to make sure they're really maximizing the exposure to this panel of podcast hosts? Because there's 21 show hosts that are going to be sitting there taking pitches.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We've talked today about consistency and the importance of getting out there on a consistent basis, but I also think variety is important and not like being the same thing to all people. Like with my topic of values, which I use both as a guest and as a host, positioning myself with values in a way that is consistent with what this specific show is looking for is just as important as having a consistent presentation that I do. So adding some variety, I think, is really a critical element. And I'm also just really excited to be back as a show host, because last year we had some really great people who ended up being guests on my podcast.
Yeah, Robert, you are so generous in giving people opportunities to be showcased. And we got really, really amazing experts coming into the VIP experience this time. So I'm excited. Thank you for coming back.
I'm also really excited about my role as the token man in this whole process.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I got to make sure the ladies are represented.
Well, it is. I would say it's also a really great event for men and women. So
great. Well, thank you for coming. You will not be the only man on the podcast host stage, but I do really appreciate you holding the energy today. Thank you. All right, Robert, thanks so much. Robert brought up a great point, and that is that there are some really powerful distinctions of what, and we've got a little bit of background noise. If you could put yourself on mute if you just came in. If you are considering VIP, one of the things I did is I asked all of our show hosts, what's the number one thing you're looking for from a guest to be on your show? Because look, you can be an expert. You can actually have been on some of the biggest name platforms out there, but you're not going to get the invitation if you don't know what they're looking for, because not every show host is looking for the same stuff. So we did something extra special for the VIPs. We put together an entire bonus guide of what our show hosts are looking for, so that you know how to make sure you are actually being relevant, being bookable, and hey, you don't need to be on every show. You need to be on the shows where your audience is and the host can really spotlight you properly. So I am excited to share that we are dropping some of the insights directly in our Visibility Velocity Facebook group. So if you want to get a little sneak peek of what's in store, we've been dropping some of them in there. And hey, show hosts, if you're not yet in that guide, if you have the initials JB, I might still be looking for a tip from you. So I want to make sure I pull you in. All right. So I'm so excited. And we've got another show host who's jumped in. Woo, woo. All right. So Jenny Bell. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. I was going to go to Catherine and then Jenny, and then we'll go to Jennifer. Catherine Thompson, welcome back, my friend. I am so thrilled to have you again. And I want to give a little shout out to all of you who are joining the chat from Tanya's feed, because she is masterful at live streaming. She's hooked up her chats. So, hey, welcome, guests of Tanya Smith. Glad to have you here. And Catherine, please give us the 411 on you and your show. And what are you excited about at Visibility Velocity this year?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Melanie. I'm so excited to be back again this year. I always tell you this, that you bring together such an amazing group of people. And all the topics, the speaker topics, like I'm so excited about all of them. My show is Be the Sought After Entrepreneur, and I started it almost 5 years ago. And you were one of the people that I looked up to for podcasting and how to have a show and how to pitch and all of the things. So, and it's the one thing in my business I feel like I've stayed so consistent with for 5 years. And the whole premise of my show is really ditching the cookie cutter one size fits all to marketing and how to really be yourself and how to show up. So I'm a marketing expert and conversion copywriter. And so the things I often look for is originality, being human, all of those sorts of things. And I'm just excited to, yeah, be in the room and hear the pitches. I was able to have, I think, 3 or 4 people come on my show. I don't take a lot of pitches, so I have a mix of solo episodes and guests, but I'm very particular about the guests that I do bring on. And I, yeah, had a bunch of people from last year come on my show, which I loved having conversations with because they were all bringing unique things to the table, which I always want to showcase. So, yeah.
Yeah. I love that you brought in this uniqueness and the originality. I think that that's the superpower so many of us have to lean into as we go into this new era of business. And like the whole cookie cutter, do it my way, it's dying a quick death.
Yeah.
And you want to stand out online, you got to find your unique thing. And we have so many great people bringing their different levels of expertise into that conversation. If you're not listening to the shows that these show hosts have, please do. Catherine has been one of my all-time favorite. I love every podcast I'm on, but you have a unique way of interviewing people that is so profoundly powerful. So I'm glad you're going to be back. And yeah, so last year we did 2 panels and we had smaller groups pitching the show hosts. This time, everybody's getting all the show hosts and all the VIPs are in one room. So it's very powerful. And not only do you get to hear each other's pitches, but you get to pitch to all the show hosts at one time. So, Catherine, one quick takeaway. What is the one thing that somebody should consider joining Visibility Velocity if they're on the fence?
If you're on the fence, I mean, I would get into the VIP room. That's where I would be if I was wanting to do it all. I would absolutely get into that room because there's so much opportunity. But just get in the room because the topics that are going to be talked about at this event are very specific for what we're going through right now in business. If you want to succeed in 2026 and beyond, you've got to get in this room because, I mean, you just heard a bunch of the topics we're going to be talking about. They're all about right now what's happening. It's not fluff. It's not high level stuff. It's really practical stuff that you're going to be able to apply in your business right now and get real results. So
yeah. Thanks for coming back. It's such a huge vote of confidence to have our show host return and like some of our VIPs coming back because they are like, this was one of the best events I was ever at. And part of it is the bookings and part of it is just like you literally leave with a roadmap. You know what to do, you know how to focus, and you know how to get visibility to turn into clients, cash, and collaborations. And that's really going to move the needle for you. So, all right, we got 2 more show hosts to talk to. Jenny Bellinger, another new friend of mine. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you bring your immense podcast talent and wisdom, but you're going to be taking pitches in the room. Give us the 411 on the show that you're representing at Visibility Velocity.
Yeah. So my show is called What You Need to Grow. It is my newer show. It's my second podcast that I've put out as the main host. And What You Need to Grow is the intersection of personal growth and business growth. So I'm interviewing personal growth experts, I'm interviewing business growth experts, but then we're also with each of those guests having the conversation about, okay, if a personal growth expert is there, then I'm saying, okay, let's dig into that topic that they're, the expert of. But then by the end of the conversation, we're also saying, okay, what's a business growth thing you're really glad you did that has grown your business and then grown your personal growth? So we're having those intersectional conversations, and it's just so much fun. I mean, I have a blast getting to really dig into both sides because I am a self-development and business development junkie. I love all this stuff. Like some of my friends are like, okay, other people obsess about like other things. You very obviously love self-development. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was put on this earth to do. So
I love it.
The show is all about that.
You know what I love is that you are going to have like a nice bridge between 2 worlds. And so many of the VIPs that are coming into the lab, not all of them are business focused. So you're really a bridge between those 2 worlds, and it's going to give people so much more opportunity to get booked. And I think that that's a unique opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did the show because one of the things that I've recognized after being in business for 15 years now is that your business is never going to outgrow you. So if we only focus on one thing, then we're putting a lid on ourselves, right? So for people who recognize that they have areas that they don't know that they don't know, this is a great show for them to follow because it's the personal growth side, it's the business growth side, and then that way they can hopefully level up on both sides and just keep growing. That's
Yeah.
what the show's all about.
Love it. Jenny, real quick, somebody was on the fence of whether or not they're already attending Visibility Velocity, but they're like, should I upgrade to VIP? What's one really good reason why they should?
Okay, so you want to be seen. Why wouldn't you want to be seen with all the other VIPs? These are the people who are taking that next level step, right? And so, hello, especially for those of us who are going to be there on VIP day. Hello, much smaller group, more intimate, much closer. That gets you more visibility. That's what this is all about, right? So definitely taking that next jump really shows your commitment, and also psychologically inside your brain tells you how important this is to you.
Ah, well said. One of the things I stumbled onto early on in my career, and this was back when we didn't have virtual events, we only had in-person events because I am OG, is you got in the room. When you got in the room, conversations happen. People recognize why you. They hear you and feel you and experience you. And they're like, oh my gosh. So what has been happening in this space, even since this amazing group of experts has come together? They're like, oh my God, I didn't know you did that. I need to book you. We need to work together. We should talk. That's what happens in the VIP room, even amongst the VIPs, amongst the show hosts, and with me as another asset for you. So if you're on the fence, look, it's $111 if you join right out of the gate. And let me tell you, you can't touch that with a podcast matching service. You might be paying that for 1 month or maybe 6 months, but those intimacies are not there. You're just spraying and praying. And this is targeted, it's intentional, and it's very powerful. Jenny, thank you. We have one more show host with us here. And oh my gosh, one of my favorite people on the planet, Jennifer Urizio. Jennifer, tell us real quick, what's the 411 on Jennifer and your show?
Okay, but can I answer the last question first?
Of course.
About why people on the fence?
Like.
Because here's why. Because now I want to be on Jenny's podcast. And I was only here for 10 minutes. Like, this is why you want to be in that room, because I'm like, oh my God, I think Jenny and I are sisters from another mister. Like, we totally get each other, right? That's why you want to be. You want to be for your excitement. You want to be motivated, but also you want to take action. And it's hard to take action if you're not in the room. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence. It's a boring place to be. Come join us. Have fun. It's probably the best $111, which is like the movies now, that you'll ever spend. So I know, right? So come. Okay, so I'm Jennifer Urizio. I've had a podcast for 6 seasons. My season lasts 52 weeks, which is crazy if we think about it. It's called Ask and Answered by Soul. I am the network lead on my Electricast, which is a network. So I shepherd in new podcast people. What I really love about my show is it's 15 minutes. And people go, oh my God, it's 15 minutes. I'm not going to be able to answer. But I have this gift of drawing really great questions out of people. And you hear it all the time, like, wow, that's a great question. And then you hear them pause, and then they get really honest. I spent my first career in marketing and PR, so I know what good questions to ask for good TV. And I want people to walk away with something that they could do right now to change their life and integrate into their daily life.
Beautiful. So yes. Oh my God. Another great conversationalist. Jennifer is such a great host. So one of the things I was very intentional about going into this round is I wanted to bring show hosts from as many different kinds of themes, industries, audiences. We have a health podcast. We have people who are doing, well, we actually have a couple different health and wellness type podcasts. We have so many different kinds of business orientation. We have hybrid, as Jenny was talking about. We have sales. We have, like how to be an entrepreneur from the inside out. We have how to grow your, what I got to look at, amplify your mission. I kept calling it something else. I've had a few times where I've mixed up people's podcasts, so I'm trying to do better. So there is a flavor and a platform that should fit everybody. And here's the really cool thing. If it's not a fit, but we know you're a great guest, most of us know a lot of other show hosts that we can introduce you to. So come join us in the room. I'm going to drop that ticker here again. And while I do that, Jennifer, you answered the question, but you were with us last year, right? What was one of the big surprising takeaways from the VIP lab last year that you either heard from people or you experienced being one of the show hosts?
I think it's what I loved about it, that there was a lot of light bulbs going off on the VIP's head. Like energetically, I can see when you have an idea, the light bulb goes off, right? Because I think a lot of people who haven't done the regular podcast thing or have and had bad experiences aren't really, they're not aware of the inside track of what it is like to run a podcast and be a podcast and hear it right from the podcaster's mouth, what they're looking for. I get a couple months ago, I got a pitch from someone I know. Okay, we're going to say it that way. And the pitch, who they write pitch letters for a living, was the worst thing I've ever read. And I had there was no segment ideas. There was here's what I can talk about. And it was 6 paragraphs. You lost me in the first 30 seconds. There was a lot of information that those people got to walk away to change their life about how they approach podcasters. And you want to clear the clutter and you want to make it so easy for a podcaster. And what I love was the meat, the real information, and everyone was really lovely and honest and caring. And not everyone's going to be like that. Right? So this is where you get to be really safe, being vulnerable, really get a lot of good information and go and utilize it to change how you've been approaching this, because it is an art form. Right. And when you have those keys to the art form, and once you get on a good podcast and that person likes you, they're going to be like, oh, let me introduce you to blah, blah, blah. And let me introduce you to blah, blah, blah. Right. Because we want all of our friends to go, hey, that was a great guest. Do you have any more? Or I have a great guest for you. We're kind of a close-knit community. And so it was chock full of information, but not overwhelm. And if you haven't noticed, everyone, Melanie brings a lot of great people to the party, right? You're not going to be like, oh my God, please make them stop talking because, right? You're not going to have any of that. And I think that is why you should show up. Keep coming back year after year. You're welcome.
Yay, thank you. Guys, I know some of you have to leave. Thank you so much for showing up here today. And as you're tuning in and listening, I really want to see you at Visibility Velocity, because I don't want you just throwing your message out there randomly. I want you to have visibility that brings results. I want you to have visibility that's amplifying your reach to the audiences where people are looking for you. And if it's not happening right now, I guarantee you, you're not going to be figuring this out on your own. There's fine-tuning, there is structure, there's intentionality, and there is alignment that will help you use your time, your money, and your energy more effectively and more powerfully. Because we need the world. The world needs what you do right now. And if they can't see you, they can't hire you. So come to join us at visibilityvelocity.com. It's free to join the main room. If you want to upgrade to VIP and get access to these amazing show hosts, you got a little taste of what is possible. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much for being part of Visibility Velocity. I can't wait to see you next week. We start Thursday, March 26th. Bye, everybody.